Yesterday morning, so today. Oak Street.
Hey Kim, can you see my screen?
I can, yes.
Great.
Yes.
Kim, can you put out a notice to everybody? I'm looking for an open house for Sunday. Is that possible?
We can put it in KW shares. I'll help you.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Yeah. It's great to see everyone here. I know some more people are going to be trickling in. They all promised me when I was knocking down their door and sending them texts to come to the lunch afterwards. But I just want to get started because I'm sure you guys have noticed some of the Hawaiian decor that we have around here. It's just a friendly reminder about our KW Purse Lunch that's happening right here after the team meeting. So he's actually bringing the TC King's Hawaiian here as we speak. But yesterday on our growth call that we have with Keller Williams International, that's all the leaders within the company get on every Monday and they do updates about what's happening. And they did have the operating principal and she's the regional as well, Colette.
Yes.
Yeah. Anyway, so Colette, who is a personal friend of many of our people here within the area, and you guys might recognize her from the southern region as well. She did a little bit of update and talked about our sister office, KW Maui. So just want to give you guys an update. They have found all but one of their agents currently. There's still one that they're unable to contact.
Oh,
Still one, they said on the growth call, they're still missing one. And then she also let us know that about a little over 20% of their office's roster lost everything in these fires. They lost their homes, they lost their clothing. They need simple things as little as toiletries and hygiene items that are difficult to get, deodorant, toothpaste, formula for babies. So this is why we decided to shift our focus to help them support. We actually got their Amazon wish list full of items, and every dollar that you guys donate today is going to help to get these items to those agents and their families to help them out right now. So if you guys aren't in person and you're joining us on Zoom and you'd like to help contribute, please feel free to scan my Venmo and send it over. Otherwise, if you guys are here in person, please stick around and stay for a super awesome lunch and help us raise some money to really make a difference in our agents' lives and those around us. Okay, any comments or that was it?
No, just keep supporting, and it's very unfortunate disaster what they had going on. If anybody been there, excuse me, that this is like something that we won't be able to rebuild like it was, but that's the best we can do to support and show our love and support to them out there. So thank you.
Yeah, for sure. We want to help them out. So anyways, stay, enjoy afterwards and help support our KW Maui. Okay, so let's shift focus a little bit and start with our bucket fills. I'm going to kick us off for a huge bucket fill and shout out to both Brandy Adair and Richard and everyone that helped out with the team meeting while we were gone. Wasn't it awesome? I loved it. It was great. We had a lot of fun. Brandy, you're just so natural at doing these things. It was really easy, but I know we like to give you lots of bucket fills, but you're just always such a model of culture and support in our office. Does anyone else have any bucket fills? Shout outs? That's a good one. Shout out to Drake, always on my morning mindset.
Well, is this great in person?
Yeah. And Pat in person. I love seeing Pat. Hey, shout out to Pat. Anyone else? Any bucket fills?
Shout out to the agents who attended the mega camp.
Yeah.
We're gonna hear from them. I think we have a panel today. It was pretty awesome convention with a lot of great authentic success stories that Gary put on stage. Mix of people, what have you. So thank you for being there. We got to even to see Janet for a second there chasing people. So
She's like, where's Waldo? It's great. You always fire and you're like, so popular.
We're gonna hear from them in a second.
I love that. Great.
And also thank you for you ladies back on the side for keep pushing the book club. And yeah, we're gonna have to do a second, but also let's just maintaining that culture that we have and working hard to grow it, so thank you for this.
Yeah. I love that. All right. Cool, Ben. You wanna
Leslie?
introduce?
Yeah.
So we just want
Leslie gets her own section.
Thank you. So today I wanted to announce that we have our first graduate from our ministry program in quite some time, actually. So if you have one, come on.
Special guest.
Yeah.
Yep. So Marie fulfilled her 3 transactions. Most recently with Penny, which I hear was quite the ordeal, and it took a little while. So, we wanted to congratulate you on being our most recent graduate. Penny, do you have a couple of words you'd like to share?
She just stuck with it. She had a very difficult listing and I made her do things that I know price adjustments are difficult, but when you are asking for price adjustments that Marie had to ask for, she didn't question it. She role played it. She said, I've got it, I'll do it. And she did it and we got it closed.
That's
So
Congrats. Like, you're ready to get started. Any words of advice for those people going through right now? Wisdom?
Well, you really just have to stick with it because that listing that we're talking about, is pretty much more than a year closed. So it's a condo in downtown LA, so that market is a whole other beast basically. And so, doing that or going through that experience of the men team was, quite a good learning experience. So you really just have to like stick with it, like keep working hard and stuff don't give up.
That's awesome. We'll get another round of applause for Marie. Yeah, Penny, you Penny. Where? Real quick, take a look at it. Any? Your pen? And come on in. Hey.
That is.
Awesome. Congratulations. So excited for you. So excited. She is done. Thanks, Leslie. Ben, you want to read this one?
Yeah, closing this week, Valerie times 2.
Yeah.
A double round of applause. Kelly Lowe, Danielle Williams,
Creepy.
Greg, and Shannon Jones, please.
Hey, what is that equal? Read it.
$3.7 million in volume.
Yeah. It's good. We're seeing a shift kind of go up and down and up and down a little bit, some heavy ones, but we've been pretty consistently steady in that 3 mil range. So that's good. Awesome. Shout out to you guys. That's great. Shout out to our July closings. If you guys had a closing in July, we're excited to celebrate you. It's a little less names than we normally have, but still super proud to have each and every one of you on there. So congratulations. And then our July top producers, congrats. So top sales volume, Van Wigan Associates, the David Green team, the Shannon Jones team, Rita Cambarian and Kendra Miller. And we have top units closed. We have Van Wigan Associates, the David Green team, the Shannon Jones team, Rita Cambarian, Kendra Miller, Alice Stillman, Terry Keys, and the Green team. And Tim Nasta. Highest sales prize, Rodi Bellu. Congrats. And then, of course, our rising star. So exciting. So let's take a look at our new inventory that we have. Lindsay Iskerka. So she had this listing. Let me move this out of the way. There we go. So it's on Taylor Way in Costa Mesa. It's $1,085,000, 4-bed, 2-bath. Wow. Beautiful listing. The photos are great. Live Distinctively. Is Robin here? No. Okay. Live Distinctively. List price is $475,000. I think that's one in Stony Brook, right? Yeah. It's one in Stony Brook. Yeah. Great. Live Distinctively has a lease, 2,000 $350 a month on Linden Avenue in Long Beach. And that's it. Listing pitches, buyer needs. What do you guys have? Anything?
So we still have our flip, sorry, Nicole Wires with the green team. We still have our flip, we just put it, active last week. We had like over 200 people come through open. We have one offer, it's not the strongest offer, so we're just, you know, if anyone, I think we might need someone too to help us open house this weekend. So Bronson was with me, which was awesome.
That's great.
Not last week, the week before, so it's at 775. It's a great little pocket in North Long Beach, 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, almost 1,200 square feet, so that's a great house.
The finishes are beautiful. The way you guys put that in, I saw the videos the whole time. I was like, it was like HGTV. If you guys don't follow their social media, they kept picking all the finishes. You got to see the house built, so it was pretty cool.
So it's an awesome,
Beautiful.
awesome house. So it's pretty
Yeah, beautiful. Good to see you, Nicole. Love it. Okay, anyone else? Pitches, buyer needs? Larry.
Hi, guys. Any investment property, I mean, duplexes, triplexes in Naples, especially for the peninsula. Please let me know, especially the peninsula. The market's just nuts again. I just saw in the last 2 weeks, and just take up as everybody else has as well. And then this little FYI, I don't know if you guys probably saw on social media, it's like Warren Buffett just spent $800 million on one builder stock that he has.
I saw that.
Yeah, isn't that crazy? Because he now says that there's not enough inventory and that no one's refinancing out of their rates basically, and homes have to be built and the prices are what they are. And Barbara Corcoran said, if your buyers or you personally are thinking of waiting on the sidelines for interest rates to come down, she said, do not do it. I'm telling all my clients this, don't wait, because what's going to happen is once the interest rates do drop a point or two, the buyers are going to be out there with rows.
Push the prices.
So we were talking about that on producer's mindset or morning mindset this morning, right? It's all about perspective and that conversation, because trust me, everyone's waiting right now. They're all in the wings the moment we see something go down. Thank you.
So we are coaches, right?
Yeah,
For
we
our
are.
clients.
Yeah, thanks, Larry. Anyone else? Needs, pitches, Tim?
Everyone, if anybody has any clients that are doing like a major remodel and they need a place to stay for like 6 months or a year, I have a fully furnished condo for rent in Long Beach, like 6 North Outmay. It's in Elvis Beach, it's just like half blocks of the beach. It's a 2-bedroom, 2-bath, about 1,100 square feet, and the rent $3,500 a month with the parking space. And it's beautiful inside. It's got a baby grand piano, the furnishings look beautiful.
Whoa.
It's on the MLS, everybody.
Nice. I saw a couple on KW shares about that, so maybe check that as well. That's great. Anyone else? Okay, moving on. Cool. So let's bring up our mega agent camp panel. Those of you guys that attended, come up, share. Many people want to bring their chair too. So yeah, we just wanted to share some of our nuggets, things we learned.
This part you wouldn't.
There we go. So as Janet's walking up there, you're gonna see a lot of pirate stuff. That was kind of the theme when we were there. And
Buffaloes are so last year.
yeah. Although we had a
Where's,
giant buffalo,
Simon?
but Simon was there. But with Janet's pirate shirt, I found out what it meant. So Gary talks about the awe when we were a child, and we have things like, I want to be a pirate, or I want to be an astronaut, or I want to be blank, right? And what he's saying is live and be the pirate today and go out and take market share. Be that ruthless person, be that person that goes in and takes over and causes like a cacophony to happen, right? And realistic. So that's what he was talking about. Hoist the, what does it say? Hoist the skull and mustache, right?
With the mustache, very fun.
Yeah, that's pretty cute. Okay, guys, so why don't we go ahead and start? Share some of, like, what was your biggest aha that you took from attending the experience? Who'd like to start? Minnie?
Ladies first, but I'm just kidding. Yeah, go for it. Ladies.
I guess I'll start. So this was my first KW event, right? So I was a bench virgin, so to speak. I wasn't. Anyway, Amy for encouraging me to be present at this event. It's something where I'm not somebody who drinks the corporate Kool-Aid, right? But I will say that I walked away with a newfound respect for the company that we belong to. I got to see it from different eyes and a different mindset. I really got to appreciate what we do for our communities around the world, how we gather together and become one. The purposeful life that we build for ourselves and for those. Got to hear from these top producing agents really like inspired me in a way to re-energize my business, refocus myself, and really, start buckling down in ways that I've never had to do before, or that I've chosen not to do before, to try and build my own business and find that voice within myself to get back to my own community. So I'm grateful that I guess that was my bucket bill, right? I'm grateful that you encouraged me to be there, or forcibly made me be there. But in the end, I will say, I was so impressed that I did turn around and I booked my ticket for family.
Yeah, we got the table too, it's great.
Well, just to piggyback on that, by the way, echoing what you just said, I mean, first of all, nobody forced you, we just asked really firmly. You need to go there. But here's the kicker, okay? You're probably gonna hear it from them as well. I did the same panel this morning in Palos Verdes office, and some of them, one of the guys mentioned that everybody needs a coach, need a trainer, need someone just to sometimes to lift them up for a second, right? Squeeze a little bit more than what we normally have or do. So we need that sometimes. Someone just to push us, hey, just do it. You'll take me later, or don't even take me. Just go and try it out, whatever, right? So just to echo on that, one of my ahas is it's my maybe like 18th event or whatever, and every time I go I get overwhelmed because it's like so much information. You cannot take it all, but then slowly but surely it kind of kicks in wherever fill those little gaps and everything, and then you're like, okay, now I'm gonna figure this one out. Now I can have time to do this, and of course also the relationship that you make out there with other people, and also with our people too. It's like extremely important. So, and back to your point, every 6 months, I think they did it strategically, from one event to another event, so it kind of fills your buckets, and then you go again. That's it. So just doing it.
It's great.
I'll let Janet go next, that's the lady. Next.
So you take your breath.
Yeah, I know.
We'll just bounce, ladies and gentlemen.
Okay, well, kind of what Manny was saying, it's a little bit like drinking from a fire hose. So there's so much information coming at you. There's so many really great agents, and they're modeling their recipe for success, and they're up there presenting step by step exactly what they did to have this $300 million business. And so, I mean, you're sitting there going, and there's so many ideas coming at you that all you could do is just pick out a few things that you think would work for you, or say, that's the path that I want to go down. I like what that person's doing. Not all of them are going to resonate with you. I'm a little bit different, and they were kind of laughing like I was where's Waldo? And I don't kind of like hang with the group, because I get to see you lovely people pretty often. So when I'm there, I'm out meeting other people, and I'm meeting them. I'm using my business card with my little key-shaped paper clip on it, so that I stand out in the millions of business cards they're collecting. When I come home, I've got my own personal, Canva postcards, Long Beach, me, and I will write, and I'll sign the one that gave you the paper clip, and write my little personal note about where I met them, and I'll stay in touch with them, because that's kind of how I'm using family reunion. So I was Where's Waldo. Lovely to see you all.
Yeah. We did.
just to kind of echo what everyone was saying, I mean, this is I believe my 7th mega camp, and you know, it still impresses me to this day. Just to see Mark King, Jason Abram, and obviously Gary Keller up on stage. We had some phenomenal seats, by the way, thanks to this guy right here. He pushed us to get to the front. If it wasn't for Mastery, we would have probably been right in front there.
Yeah.
But overall, the experience, if you haven't gone to Mega Camp, I definitely encourage you. Family reunions around the corner. It is going to be in Las Vegas, you know, so you can fly, you can drive. It's something that I definitely would love for all of us to go in to support, not just this office, but you know, the sister offices as well. And just the nuggets and the aha moments, you know, to me, something that resonates was what Gary was saying about the hustle and happiness. You know, that a lot of people believe that hustle is first before happiness. And he says it's incorrect. It should be happiness and then hustle.
Right.
You know, and it just kind of took me back. But it really just defines who we are as entrepreneurs. So those are some of the things I got.
That's
Yeah,
great.
that was a good piece that he broke down the graphs and everything. What he says that, you know, you need to show up fulfilled and happy and contained, and that will lead to success, right? Not just showing up, you know, I'm gonna work hard, I'm gonna
Work
outwork
harder.
myself or whatever,
Yeah.
and then hopefully that's gonna bring me, you know, happiness and fulfillment, right? So they put some spin on that one. We got the chance to listen live to Phil M. Jones.
Oh, he was great.
Not the basketball NBA Phil Jones. It's that the Phil M. Jones UK. Make sure that he's from UK, and great author. He wrote Exactly What to Say, and you should look it up and read it. Amazing book, by the way. And there's emphasis. He's also doing specific coaching for realtors, and some of the takeaways or key concepts, as we called it, is there's a sentence that his coaching agents to use quite often with mostly, well, either buyers or sellers, it really depends on the scenario, to create some kind of scarcity, right? When the person is like, you know, like know it all. He says, I'm not sure if this is for you.
Yeah, it might not be for you. Yeah.
I'm not sure if this is for you. And then he adds, but, right? Because if someone's gonna tell you, hey, I'm not sure if this is for you, it's kind of feel like the feeling like, well, I'm not good enough, or I'm not worthy, or what have you. But then he has the but, right? So I'm not sure if this is for you, but whatever, right? So that's one thing that he shared. The second thing, which again, he put a different spin on it, which I was impressed, and I appreciate it. Don't look to do your best. Don't look to do your best. Always work to get better. So he says, stay humble. Yeah, you wake up every morning. I'm a brand new agent. I'm a new professional in the industry, right? Because if you say like, hey, I did my best, or I tried my best, it's like you put a lid, you put a cap to that ability, and you, again, like it sounds like you can't do or couldn't do more than that. It's not about that. It's about always the work to get better, right? Staying like in that level. So that was kind of the big takeaways from Phil and Jones. One more thing, hopefully it's gonna open some, you know, other stuff, you know, that people talk about. They had an amazing panel, 4 individuals, solo agent with maybe 2 admins, a small agent with a small team with like, you know, like I think 3 or 4 agents, and then a mega agent, like, I don't know, something insanely massive, like 50 people or what have you. And everyone shared really how they transact and what they do and how they do it. It was pretty incredible. Reason I'm mentioning that is, number one, once they're gonna release all the recordings, we're gonna share with you. And just a few minutes ago, I posted on the on our office Facebook group the one sheet that they sent us, so you can basically, you know, need to scan basically and see all the summary that they had over there. But it's pretty awesome presentation because it really simplified the process of how can I be like those guys in a sense of making so much production. It's all about leverage, and those guys really broke it down to perfection, if you may. So that was very impressive.
I love that. Do you guys have any comments?
I actually had 2 more things I wanted to say, and one is geared to the young agents in our office,
Yes.
right? I felt this really hit home for me because the two, I always call them my boys, but the two boys that I have on my team, right, they're in their early 20s. They had a young man speaking there on the panel who was 22 years old, who closed $50 million in volume last year, right? Over 100 transactions by himself, right? 22 years old. And so that was like the reality. And, sometimes I was looking at these numbers of like how much they were selling. And, this kid was in California. So, we couldn't get a better market for market type scenario to say, hey, if he can do it, we can do it, right? But some of these people, they're like in Podunk, Missouri, closing millions of dollars.
Still, yeah.
And it's like, if we're in this market where everything is so expensive, I was thinking about it, do they even have enough people living in that town to make that kind of money? Like, let alone close that many transactions, like shame on all of us here, right? We're densely populated. If we can't produce some business out of the situation we're in, then we're failing as an agent in some way, shape, or form, right?
I wrote that down too, that I said, real estate success is not tied with age.
Correct.
Because you had some that were 21, and then you had agents up there on the panels that were definitely in the golden years of their life, really. And so they still saw just as much success.
There was a team there that advertised, and when the person would come up and speak, right beside them would be this drop down that would, PowerPoint in, and it would give like their name and their location, and it would say like how much they had in closed volume. The entire row of us, we looked at this number and we were like,
Is that a billion?
is that a typo? $1.2 billion?
Billion.
Small area. Possible. And even though that team, I went to the website to go look them up. 50 some odd agents. I went through scroll, they counted every one of them. The reality is we have more agents than that, and we're not producing 1.2. Like that is like 3 billion exactly.
The whole row went, what?
In the wrong place. What?
It was megalotto numbers.
It was.
It was ridiculous. And to see all of that was so enlightening for me as, an individual agent, as a small team lead, right? I just thought, okay, we're seriously lacking in our business model in some way, shape, or form that they're able to produce at that kind of level. And we're scraping by to find our next deal. Right?
And the beautiful thing about that, by the way, it's not just to show off.
Yeah,
The presentation is just to inspire, but then the breakdown, this is how I'm doing it,
absolutely.
right? And let me share with you, just have to take those steps.
Yeah.
They also, from a lot of presenters, it felt like they're very successful in what they do because they're very focused on
Yes.
on one specific thing.
Yes.
Absolutely.
The guy will say, I'm only doing farming. This one guy, I think you mentioned, I'm looking at him like, that's like Joe Sopo, right? I'm
Oh, yeah.
looking at Joe Sopo, just different hairstyle. Like only farming. This guy travel, he only works 136 days of the year, something like that, travel all the rest, right? And when his son is his business partner, as of recent, maybe the last, I think, 2 or 3 years, and he has a very specific schedule because those 136 days, he only works 3 hours a day, but he wakes up and he has a very specific thing of what he does every day on those work days, right? He's 70 something years old, living life like I want to be him, right? So it just shows you that, like, be as narrow focus as possible and keep doing it, be very systematic. It will come. It's a numbers game, right?
Yeah, they really said choose one niche, and then the key component that was talked about often was consistency and frequency, right? You do it consistently and you do it frequently, it's gonna pay off, no matter what it is that you choose to do. I don't care if it's events, cold calling, door knocking, farming, golden letters, doesn't matter. Do it consistently, do it frequently, and it will eventually pay off.
And remember that, if it doesn't work for you right away, it maybe also doesn't work for this guy or this lady or what have you. But the race is like, who's gonna quit first? Or
Right.
who's gonna last longer?
Sometimes you feel
You're eventually gonna get it, right?
Yep.
By the way, if you want to write down the name of the guy that she mentioned, it's Montaz Maurice. Montaz, Montaz.
That was a younger guy.
Maurice, Maurice. That's a 23-year-old guy that he was,
Tell the story, yeah.
he got his accounting degree or whatever.
Oh, no,
Went
that's
to-
a different guy.
Oh, it's a different guy.
The one other guy,
Oh, so
the
that
was the
accounting guy
golden
was
letter guy.
21. That's the
Oh,
golden letter guy.
apologies.
The one you're talking about, Minnie, he was 21 years
The Rangers
old.
guy.
He was making 6 figures as an accountant, okay? He decided that he didn't like the lifestyle he was living because it was like so much, structure and stress. He wanted financial freedom. He got his real estate license. He actually got fired from his job because he kept taking time off to go do open houses and to show clients. And he admitted this on the stage, and it was very sweet. He tried to work around it. He admits it, but he was 21 years old and was up there. And again, millions and millions on the screen that we saw. It was powerful.
His focus is
Powerful.
expired
Expired.
and FISBOs,
Yeah, Fizzles,
right?
it.
That's it. So he got fired and no job. He parked his car in the garage, right? And for 6 months, he's just grinding, sitting the classes,
Yeah.
nights, whatever, bold, etc., etc. And then he started to produce in the 7th month, and he crushed it. And now he's 30 in business, so like 2.5 years, he's, I don't know, like 30, 40 mil per
Yeah, it was-
production in his pipe. 23-year-old guy, incredible, just amazing personality. Gary
Yeah.
asked in state like this thing like that close, tell him, you have no idea how good you are, huh?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
There was another lady, I actually spoke to her yesterday over the phone, Andrea Anderson. She was at the cultural summit, which, by the way, I don't remember them doing this like that, but if anybody here been to mega camp or family event before? Family event? Okay, so remember the last day of family, it's still happening. That's Mo's stage, Mo Anderson. She's doing the whole cultural thing, and they show the stories about KW Cares and how much money goes out and what they do. It's amazing. Like, if it's very emotional. So the cultural summit was very similar to what they do during mega camp, which I appreciated. This one lady, she was 80 years in the army, in the military, right? And then they said, hey, we're gonna ship you overseas. She had 2 little babies. I'm like, I'm not doing this anymore. Thank you, bye. And she became a police officer in Buffalo, New York. Very low price points, real estate, by the way, over there. I think it's like 50,000 buy a house, something like that, 60,000. And what she did, by the way, if you see her, and you will, because you're going to see her live over Zoom, I'm going to schedule a time with her to meet with us. She is the most, she's hilarious.
Energy is
Charismatic.
just very over
High
the top.
energy, giggles, laughs throughout, and it made everyone laugh as well.
Yeah, and take every crisis to like in a way that she is. I'm there to help. In a nutshell, what she did, she transformed the police department to a community center, pretty much. So she started to help people who in the corrections facilities to maybe buy a house. But then this guy had a really bad credit. Okay, so let's do a credit repair seminar or whatever. And then they want to buy a house, they didn't have a job. So let's do a job fair seminar or job fair in the police department, etc., etc. Not only that she's amazing, successful agent, she has changed the whole momentum of her community locally while being a police officer. It's like 2 hats. It was so powerful and authentic as well. And again, I'm maybe next week she's gonna join over Zoom and you're gonna get a chance to meet her.
Yeah.
Kind of in person.
One of my favorite ideas that she had given was she does a community baby shower, is what she calls it, where they're basically raising things for children, things that the community needs, formula, diapers, like you would have at a normal baby shower, but it wasn't for any one person. She then went and helped out the families in need. And then she reached out to her potential clients in her sphere and said, I'm doing this. Who do you know that needs baby stuff right now? And so she give it to them to go give it to the person. I mean, it was just a really cool idea that I thought that's brilliant. And again, they're all going through the police station. So Janet, Simon, do you guys have any more thoughts you want to share with us? Things you learned?
Well, just to kind of piggyback on what Manny was saying, I mean, she was awesome. She called them workshops, but it just resonated with me because just her personality, her energy, she had the whole stage literally laughing and giggling. It was just amazing, and I'm so grateful that we're going to have her as a guest speaker. So.
I love that. Janet.
Yeah, they're so good.
Yeah, it's a lot.
I have, like my phone is full of notes, but I picked out a few things. One of the things that they do show, they're of course trying to sell the MAPS coaching and just talking about how it coaches a mirror of yourself and, kind of forces you to look at yourself and dig deep. I don't necessarily do MAPS coaching, but I think any coach that you use is going to help you with that. Use Leslie, the productivity coach, use Fritz, or if you find a coach outside, definitely make use of them. This woman with her events, we had some other people talking about events that
Events, yeah.
were interesting. And definitely you can go and look at the playbook to get some good ideas for events.
One of the things too, Janet, with your events, I just want to interject real quick, was that one of the gals made a VIP list for her events. Do you remember this? So she was saying any event that she holds, the very special clients or the very special people get what's called a VIP, and they got a little something extra. They got in early. They got if it was a baseball game, then they got a popcorn and a soda or whatever. And so she said, people kept asking, how do I get on that list? How do I get on the VIP list? And she'd say, oh, well, you gave me a referral, or, you used me as a realtor. And so it got people excited. So that was awesome. Yeah, I had that written down. So that's great.
Yeah, and then I thought this was kind of interesting too. That the main speaker, Phil M. Jones from the UK, he was talking about the need to tell your story and being able to tell your story. This is really funny because I'm on like back-to-back conferences. I had just gone to the Feeney event right before this, and the same theme came up. So it must be in the air right now. Is really digging, and I would love to have like a class or a workshop on figuring out how to tell our story better. And he had given this wonderful analogy of a pen. And he's, this is a pen, you see it laying in a garage store, in a garage sale. How much is that pen worth? And it's like 10 cents. And then we take the same pen, we put it in Macy's, in a cabinet, in an acrylic hanger. How much is that pen worth? Like $50. And then you take that same pen and you put it in this tray on velvet, and you get the gist. But how you present yourself and how you think of telling your story really counts. And I thought that was a super analogy.
Yeah, that was good. He also had another good one where we're painting a picture and we're getting people to visualize what's going to happen next. Brandon talked about what's going to happen next. At a young age, when you tell this story to little children, what is it that we hear when you're telling a story? Once upon a time, right? Almost every childhood story starts that way. The adult equivalent that he said to use in your language is to say, imagine this, right?
Yeah.
So as you're influencing people, and I'm going to throw Ben under the bus here for a second, who just started making calls and contacting people again with this, he started saying, imagine this. And it's so much easier for people to see the vision because your brain and synapses go, okay, they're creating something. They're telling something for me that I need to listen, right? I love that.
I love key points that he kind of broke it down in that sense. By the way, Fritz was amazing on stage.
Yeah, he was so good on stage.
If you again, once we're gonna get all the recordings, we're gonna share this.
I just wanted to say one more thing too. I think we've all taken Fritz for granted, right? We have him here at our disposal. I can't even spend long.
Yeah.
So, it was interesting to be present there in that room with these top performers who likely all have a MAPS coach to some extent, right? And a lot of them were Fritz's clients, right? They utilized him. So for us to have heard their stories firsthand over the year that he's been working with us, shame on us for not implementing anything that he shared, because the proof was there at Mega Camp when these people got up on the stage and spoke about their story. And we saw their numbers and we heard, their journey and how they got there. And again, what have we been doing with our time when we come and we hear him on a weekly basis tell us exactly those stories?
Well, it's back to always work to get better.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
But it's also partially his fault. because Fritz is one of the most humble people out there that you will see. It's amazing. I mean, definitely. But again, if you saw him on stage, it was great. Like, make us proud, right?
Yeah.
To be part of.
And he
well,
did wiggle his ear, which was our coastal signal. We all decided
Scream.
before he went, so he wiggled his ear and that was hey to
Yeah.
coastal. So, okay, guys, any other comments, Ben?
Yeah, I can just kind of wrap it up back from the beginning. Like Leslie said, it was my first Keller Williams event. And by no means my first corporate real estate event. I've been to over 20. And it was definitely the most impactful one I've ever been to, both in terms of content and the willingness to share these top producers to give you their secrets. And then just like the deepening of relationships you had with us, our sister offices, other random people passing out silly straws, which is awesome. And then the other thing about it to me, where it kind of brings it all together was like everybody was talking about, here's what I do, and I do it really well, and I actually enjoy it. So this is my business. I love planning events. I love doing X. I love doing Y. I do this every day. It's my rhythm. It's how I build my business. And it's not really work for me. It's like this work-life integration. Like these parties become part of my life and also my work,
Yes.
or whatever example.
Lifestyle.
Your lifestyle. And then also the last day we talked about how to incorporate charity, like we're doing right now, into your business.
Yes.
And to give back while doing your business. And you can incorporate your life, your business, and your charity, what's the word for it? Philanthropy.
Yeah.
All in one. It just becomes your life, right? So that was my main takeaway.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you, guys. Oh, yeah,
No,
Janet. No, that's okay. One more. Go for it.
No,
Go for it.
Say, because we're having this luncheon and everything after, and we heard the really impactful stories about Hawaii and how much money KW Cares has raised for Hawaii. It's really cool that we're part of this company that had this earthquake thing that we had that was really a non-event. Had it been something major, to know that our company would have been there for us.
Yeah.
It's really cool because most agents don't have that in other companies.
And just to add to that, by the way, because I was actually privy to a international conversation on Saturday morning at 9 a.m. our time over Zoom. Global International had a call with all the regions in California, the regional directors, etc., and prepared to, if it's going to be a major disaster, floods, and what have you. They didn't know about the earthquake yet, right? But in the sense of like the floods and everything, they already had the game plan for us. You see, so like we wouldn't know about that because it's kind of behind the scenes if something's going to happen. So that's kind of community we are part of.
Yeah. Okay, round of applause, you guys. Thank you, everyone. Wonderful, wonderful insights. Just a little, and we got to see Deb Warren. Everyone,
Yeah.
Look who I got to sit next to, great. That's great. So let's bring up our affiliate partners. Lena, come on up here. What do you have for us? Everyone else, come line up here. Alex, Sarah, Lena, you're first. Okay. You're done.
Hi, everyone. Lena with my team. So good to be here. I just want to let you know that there's change coming to your natural hazard disclosure statement page. Right now, we've got 2 for fire, 2 for flood, and 2 for earthquake. They're adding another one for fire. So that means that our fire zones are going to get even larger. So they're going to add the high fire. Okay, and with this, we all know what page this is, right? This is the page that we all sign. That when you sign this page, that means you have read and understood everything that's in that report. I know you guys are doing that.
Yeah, they always read all the fine details.
Okay, and then I believe we have another slide.
No?
Okay, I'll just
That's
go
okay.
ahead and talk. Okay, well, with that being said, wouldn't it be nice to know if you're going on a listing appointment or if you're talking to a client, if your property is in a flood or a fire zone without ordering an HD report? Okay, well, I have that solution for you. We have just released our My Has app, and you will be able to do that at your fingertips. You're going to have it up on your phone. Yes, and it's got a beautiful live aerial map showing depicting the zone, the blue if they're in a flood zone. And this is important because it gives you a heads up about the insurance implications. Okay, so we all know how hard that is to get. So these days,
So I'm going to email everybody, or I'll have you guys email the instructions how to get that app, okay?
That's great. Thank you.
All right.
Awesome. Let's bring up Doug / Michael. Michael, what do you have for us?
Hey, guys, happy to be here today. And on behalf of Doug, wanted to point out a couple of flyers that we have out there. The first one is the customer service. We're open on Saturday, customer service.
Right.
Now, Doug and myself are really good about answering the phone. A lot of you guys know that. But maybe you just have a quick question on a lien on a property. Maybe you want a property profile. Maybe you're locked out of your Flash Farm account or something like that. Maybe you want to go directly to the store, so you can call customer service now on Saturday also. The other flyer we have any of you guys heard of Top Hat? A couple of you maybe, okay, because this is all the buzz as far as technology in the real estate space right now. And so this flyer, we're going to make this available to you. And what it is it's over the top analytics and information on properties, commercial and residential, all across the country. So there's 47 trillion points of data on here, and we're just talking about, again, far beyond anything the MLS or even any of our farming apps have. So Doug and WFG have made this available to you. If you'd like to, I feel like this is something we're probably going to do a class on, but if you guys, if you guys want to get ahead of it and play around with it a little bit, talk to me and I'll get you the link to sign you up.
That's great. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you. Sarah, what do you have for us?
Just to piggyback on Lena's thing, also on the My NHD reports, when you order them, the very first page in all big bold capital letters, it'll say if you are in that severe fire hazard zone that requires that defensible space inspection. Half the time when I get the NHD report, we're already in escrow. It's probably a 30-day escrow, and they don't realize they have to order this defensible space inspection, and it can take a couple weeks to get because every region, every area is monitored by different departments. Sometimes it's the city who has to do it. The city fire department has to come out. Sometimes it's the county. Sometimes it's CAL FIRE. It's different in every area. So if you do have any homes that could be, I mean, I had one in Laguna Beach. I didn't even expect that one. So you never know. Just double check if you are in those fire hazard zones, especially now that it's changing.
Yes.
Definitely want to make sure that you know where the property is and if it requires those. And usually California Fair Plan is for the insurance. I had a file, it was going to take 2 weeks to get an insurance policy for California Fair Plan for a fire hazard area. So double check all of that. Exactly. Good things to know in advance when you're opening escrow. Just some things that I've been seeing lately, I'm going to share. If you do have a property that has solar, I can't stress it enough. I know I bring it up every meeting. I have a file right now where the seller just filed a lawsuit against the solar company because we can't get anything from them. They filed a complaint with the Better Business Bureau. They filed a lawsuit. We are still waiting for the solar company to get us our release documents. The poor buyer has an up leg. They've had to extend their rate 3 times. It's a nightmare. So if you have solar, please get a copy of the contract. Find out who we have to call. Feel free to reach out to me. I'm happy to help do all of that for you. So we know the turnaround time, who to call, the phone numbers, the information. Every solar company is so different and their turnaround times take forever. So if you do have that, just keep that in mind when you're listing those properties or asking questions to your sellers. Another thing is HOA. I know I bring it up every time, but half the time I actually ordered HOA docs last week on a rush. And the HOA was like, we're removing your rush fee. We can't do it. So, just keep that in mind when you're ordering docs. We tried to order them before we even opened escrow. I have one agent who just asked about ordering HOA documents. He told me there was one HOA. I went to order them. There are 3 HOAs and it costs $2,900 to order them. Wow. So just keep that in mind when you're in escrow so that you're not shocking the clients later. That's going to cost $3,000 to order documents and things. So things that I'm seeing. Another thing is making sure all your verbiage is black and white. If you're drawing up an addendum, you want to make sure if an attorney picked up that document, they're going to know exactly what everybody agreed to and what they were all on the same terms. I have a file where both agents gave an addendum 1 with different terms and they couldn't agree and canceled.
So just make sure everyone's on the same page when it comes to changing terms or drawing addendums. It is so important if you're changing anything in the contract that you draw your addendums. I know a lot of people like to email escrow, like, can you just do this addendum? No, change the price. Change the, we need your contract to be fully executed before escrow makes any changes. So just keep that all in mind when you're doing your transactions, just because things that I'm seeing on my end. So,
Awesome. Thank you, Sam. Alex, come on up here. Alex, what do you have for us?
Rates, we've kind of crossed into that 7% mark on the conventional stuff, okay? It's been, since the last time I spoke, we've seen rates go up a bit, almost like around 0.5%. We're in that 7% mark for the conventional loans. FHA is still down in the high sixes, but this is kind of the new norms. People are okay with it, right? I have quite a few buyers right now. I tell them what the rates are. They just, okay, let's go. So I think that, it's a nice feeling now after having so much pushback over the last 6 to 8 months that they just know rates are higher and that this is the payment. If I can qualify, they seem to be biting a bit. So that's kind of my personal update for what's been going on for me for the last, 2 months, I would say. But yeah, this is where they are. This is the new normal. Jerome Powell speaks on Friday, and then the next Fed meeting is in September, the beginning of September. So be on the lookout for that. We had a really good class a couple Wednesdays ago on the Dream for All program, Cal HFA. A couple of you have been doing some videos and sending out some marketing. Please let me know if I can join you on that, what you need. There are a bunch of flyers that are available, and we can definitely jump on videos together. I know James sent out a really good one. Remind your clients not to buy a car when they're buying a house at the same time, please. I just had that happen to me yesterday. Please, 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 new agents. All the old agents know, all the seasoned agents know, but no, seasoned. I fixed myself quickly.
Rob's here.
Thanks, Greg. Seasoned agents, but please, no big purchases when you're buying a house. Remember, that's one of the little steps you should tell them or her when they're buying a house. Use me for TBDs, right? Use me for cross quals. Okay, buyers, the transactions, if they're falling apart right now, they're definitely falling apart on the buyer side most of the time. So make sure that you do the cross calls before you accept these offers. It's really easy for me to call the loan officer on the file, scrub them in 5 minutes and say, hey, this is a solid deal or not. Okay, use me for that. I'm happy to do it. Please, please, please. The last thing I have is that in that talk for the Cal HFA, the guy that was up here from Sierra Pacific made it known that we can do the single unit FHA approvals. Okay, so if your condo complex is no longer FHA approved, it was approved at one time, we can actually go in and get an FHA loan in there for the single unit. The concentration of FHA loans in that complex has to be less than 10%. So that it's pretty tight, but if the approval has been gone for a while, it's likely that we can do that. So keep in mind, why does the FHA help? The FHA lets you have lower credit scores, higher debt to income ratios. The rates are actually lower, so it's a little more enticing, and we can do it single units. Yes.
Alex, would that be non-mortgable?
No. You still have to go in and do the same condo style review. Like they can't have litigation. It can't be. It needs to be like definitely a warrantable, and by warrantable, an approvable condo. No litigation. No big ratios of non-owners. Those types of things.
Do you work non-mortgable at all? Or?
I can do non-mortgable condos. Okay. Yes, I totally can.
And the 10% rental, is that what 10% is? It can't be.
10% is the concentration of current FHA loans in the complex itself.
Okay.
So it can't have more than 10% FHA loans already in the complex as a whole to be able to do the single unit FHA approval. Okay.
Thank you. Great. So Heather, I think you're on Zoom. We've brought in another service for you guys to utilize as agents. We've partnered with Free Model Concierge. We still have Zoom Casa and all that support system there, but we're now adding this as well as an additional service to you guys. So Heather, what do you have for us?
I had a bunch of slides, but I know you guys are short on time and have something amazing planned afterwards. So I don't want to take up everyone's time. So as you mentioned, we are, another concierge provider that will cover all the capital and get paid back out of escrow. And sort of our biggest differentiator is we have local in-person project directors that will run the entire project for you and your homeowners, everything from the initial estimate to picking the design to running the subcontractor. So with that being said, we're going to be hosting a lunch and learn in the fall. So stay tuned for that date. That will be coming soon. So I'm going to bypass the slides for today if that is okay.
Yeah, no problem. Not at all. And Heather, we're going to bring you in again for that lunch and learn so you guys can learn a little bit more about their value proposition and what they offer. Again, it's a great service. Like, look at some of these remodel photos. That's amazing. Just some of the work that they've done, especially here locally. So Heather, I'm sure you'll be able to break all this down for that lunch and learn, correct?
Yeah, I'll break it down. And actually, we go back to that one slide because I think where it says stats, I think one thing I should point out to everybody is I feel like homeowners and agents get a little concerned about doing a renovation, and that 105 days is our average project. So that is from pre-model signing a contract to the home closing escrow. So really, we're getting in and out of the property super fast. I've got a lot of agents telling us they're getting multiple offers on those homes that are remodeled, and we're earning our sellers an additional, 230% ROI. And then every agent's favorite number is that last one, helping our agent partners earn an additional 19% in commission. So we'll dive more into the program at a later date, but wanted to give you some of our stats that we are seeing in the market right now.
Awesome. Well, we're really excited to learn more. Again, to have this in your pocket when you go on listing presentations. Again, to have multiple services, get multiple supports here and options for your sellers. Heather, we're excited to hear more.
Fantastic. Thanks, guys.
Great. Yeah, thank you. Appreciate you. So let's take a look at our training and events that we have coming up. The commercial meetings happening today at 1. So in like 2 minutes, right, Manny? Important changes to the SBA. Jason has a conversation about commercial leases. We get these a lot. Questions you guys have as resi agents, even your commercial agents. Make sure you tune into Jason's What's the Hype on the 28th at 1. Simon is a class. Simon, what's your class about?
Seller rights to cancel.
Ooh.
Yeah, I believe it's the provision, section 14, and I can't see. 14 something.
Yeah. But talking about the seller's right to cancel.
Yeah, the ins and outs and how to successfully cancel when the buyer purchases the contract.
Yeah.
So that'll be today's topic.
Great. Okay, so next Tuesday, in lieu of a team meeting, we're still having an in-person gathering, but it's going to be your Google and your social media day, right? So you guys come in. Ben and Manny are going to start with Google Business 101, how to set up a Google business page, how to make sure it's optimized to retrieve reviews and organic views. And then we're having a very special training that's happening in the region where they're going to be talking about the dynamic ads that they have through Facebook and now Google, since the whole advertisement portion has changed into command. So they put a lot of work into this. So you come and join us for the Google business and then stay for that session from 12 to 1. We're still going to have food for you. It's going to be fun. And we're going to learn together how to get more leads and make sure that you're getting a good return on investment for your advertisement you guys are using through command. Okay, so that's happening next Tuesday. The experience, ladies.
All right, next Tuesday is book club at 5 o'clock, 5 to 6. We've handed out a total of 8 books, 4 hard, 4 audio. I think at least 10 people have books, not including many, Alice or myself. It's a great book. We had great conversations last month, so hope you guys can join us.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that. It's still not too late. Janet. Hey, want to make any comments on this?
Yeah, it's time for another international event. So we're going to have the guy who's the head of KW Crete in to talk to us, well, in on Zoom to talk to us. So it'll be at 9 a.m., 7 p.m. his time in Greece. And a good chance to find out how business is done there. And find out a little bit about the island, about what's for sale there, what's a good investment property, what's a luxury property there. So bring your questions and hopefully we'll see. It'll be on Zoom, but it's always fun to have a big gathering in the office for these as well. They've been interesting.
That's great. Thank you, Janet. We have a class, so Mark Kern's doing an appraisal class for real estate agents. We're gonna have it here in the office, but it's also in conjunction, I believe, with South Bay. So you guys can join in person or on Zoom with Mark. That's happening the same day on the 30th, so come and stay for lunch. On the 31st, the next day, we have sponsored and helped by, of course, Doug and his team over there at WFG. We have Aaron Lacey coming to teach about RPR. So that realtor, the app that everyone uses or should use. This is a great resource. That's going to be here for you on the 31st at 1:30. And then Donna's summer pool party extravaganza. Donna's summer party. Let me take a pause. Donna summer pool party. We're gonna figure it out.
Oh, he's that, no, this. I have evidence.
We don't need a bartender, other than, everybody's gonna put their liquor on the bar. And then.
Who likes to drink? Okay, there we go. We got
Yeah,
bartenders in there.
We can also chip in $10 a piece to get somebody from TaskRabbit.
Oh, actually, we really don't need a bartender.
We'll figure it out.
No, I mean a griller, deep griller.
Oh, we have one.
We'll figure it out.
Okay.
We can take
Yeah.
Somebody is sponsoring the purchasing of the meats, but I need to know how much meat we're gonna need. We're thinking maybe try to, we can talk whatever you think you'd like to grill, with no hamburgers, no hot dogs. Oh, thank you. Yeah,
Right.
thank you. And no pizza.
September 7th at 4 p.m.
Yes.
Oh, kids. Okay.
Your flavor is a dish to share, where you're not being left in the.
Awesome.
Thank you. So excited.
No, that wouldn't be my authentic self. Can I raise my hand?
Yes. Yeah. Yes, it is.
Yeah, so speaking of Donna Summer, there is a documentary on HBO right now. My friend directed it, so watch it. It's really good. Leave a comment on Google for it. Thank you.
Oh, Donna Summer. I love it. Okay, September 14th at 1 p.m. that Career Compass class. Make sure you join in person. Lunch is provided. Just a friendly reminder, Leslie's PC sessions on Monday. She does a roll call, happens twice a day. That way there's no excuses to not show up. If you're in the productivity coaching program, you're a mentee, you need to be there either at 9 a.m. or at 5:30 p.m. only on Zoom. Okay. And then lastly, I believe the mentor meeting that's going to happen the first Wednesday of the month at 10 a.m. And then the mentee meeting, which is the all the mentees together, is the first Thursday of the month at 10 a.m. Okay. And that's it. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate your time. Give us just a little bit to set the food up before you guys start bum rushing that area. Thank you so much for your help and support, okay? Okay, great, thank you. What's going on?